So, are you looking to buy a home within this greater Sacramento area without settling, but still watching the budget? Now, these homes aren't going to be the absolute cheapest on the map. However, they're homes in neighborhoods where you could still find quality schools, good quality of life, and homes under 600,000, and a lot of them closer to 550 in this current market. So, if you're buying, selling, or relocating in the greater Sacramento area, I just want you to make choices with confidence. Everybody's definition of affordability is massively different. So today we're going to look at neighborhoods across Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado counties that offer affordability and quality with school ratings, recent home prices, and trade-offs you need to know about. Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for popping by our channel. My name's Jake DeRosa with the DeRosa Real Estate Team and Greater Sacramento Living. We're so happy you're here. If you like the content we're bringing you, smash the like button, subscribe to our channel. We bring you new content every week. And as a resident here of 49 years, 23 years as a broker, we've helped a ton of families move into the area, move out of the area. So drop your questions, drop your comments. We'll make sure to answer. And if you have questions, shoot me a text, 916-402-5786. Text, call, I'm always answering. And don't forget to download the relocation information guide. Links down below. With that said, let's jump into today's topic. All right, so let's jump into the first neighborhood here. Actually, one of my favorites, Orangevale. And also, too, quickly, all of our data we're grabbing with schools and neighborhoods and crime rates and all those things. If you want to check them out yourself, we like to use niche.com. I don't know if it's niche. We like to use greatschools.org, and Neighborhood Scout's a good website. So make sure you check it out. If you have some research you want to do, those are awesome websites we tend to use. So back to Orangevale. So Orangevale is Sacramento County. The school district is San Juan Unified. So they're rated a 3.8 out of 5 on niche. Median home price is right around $544,000. The cool thing about Orangevale and why it tends to work is it offers a more affordable entry point into that suburban living. And a lot of homes are well under 6. I'm going to show you some homes here in a few minutes. You know, the area is known for the large lots, the mature trees, family-friendly environments, kind of a semi-rural vibe. And the coolest part about it is depending on where you get into Orangevale, you could be really close to Folsom's amenities, downtown Folsom, the lake, the river. I mean, there's a lot of amenities close to you. And you also are close to shopping, dining, and outdoor recreation. So a lot of positives happening in Orangevale. Some trade-offs, if you would. Some of the homes are older, may need some updating depending on if they've been renovated or not. And while it's close to nature, close to outdoor activities, the commute to downtown could take sometimes 25 to 35 minutes depending on traffic. So definitely a cool area. I'm going to show you some properties out there in a second, but I'm also going to jump into, because I'm going to combine these when I'm showing you, is the second area is going to be Rancho Cordova. So Rancho Cordova, Folsom Cordova Unified School District. Now, it's a mixed bag there depending on where you're at in Rancho. So we typically break it out into north and south. The median home price there is right around $534,000. North Rancho is going to be that area north of Highway 50. And this is the older part of the city, closer to Highway 50 and the American River. You actually have some cool little neighborhoods, pockets in there where you can literally be right by the bike trail, right by the river. I've helped a lot of clients buy in that area. What you'll find is ranch style homes, usually built in the 60s to 80s, mature trees, established neighborhoods. So pretty neighborhoods. The trees are growing. You're not waiting for those. Great access to light rail, Highway 50, and job centers. Prices tend to be a little bit lower, offering solid entry level options for buyers under that 550,000 mark. Now, over here, the schools, they have a Riverview STEM elementary school, which is fantastic. It comes in at an 8 out of 10. Sunrise Elementary, 7 out of 10. Robert McGarvey Elementary, 8 out of 10. And then you get into the middle school and the high school. E. Mitchell Middle, about 5 out of 10. Cordova High School, 5 out of 10. Trade-offs in this older area are going to be more block by block variability, meaning there's pockets that are great and then there's pockets that are less desirable. Some of the areas in the less desirable have a lot of rental turnover. There's a lot of rental homes in there. And there's also a lot of older homes that are in need of work. School scores dip slightly at the, well, they dip, you saw pretty decently at the middle and high school levels by 2 to 3 score rankings. And good entry level, I could see Rancho, the north side of it, depending on if you have kids or not. Maybe it's a starter home. You're getting in there, you're raising the family, good elementaries, and then you move on. Or you could still stay in there, maybe do some private high school, middle, whatever that looks like. Then you have South Rancho Cordova. Now, this is going to be a bit more expensive. Where you're going to see the value is probably the new home builders. In fact, we just got someone into a new home, gosh, what was it, 3 weeks ago, where the purchase price, we got it to $560. 2,000 square foot home, 2-story house. It was a brand new home. Now, they were able to secure a 4.99% interest rate. In addition to that, total credits towards closing costs that we negotiated were about $70,000. So big savings there. Now, the 4.9 definitely saves money. However, those new homes, you got to be aware of Mello-Roos. It could offset the savings, but it still made it more affordable, still made it where it hit their budget and worked out really well for them. So South Rancho's kind of got the master plan communities built in the mid 2000s and newer, depending on where you're at. So Anatolia, Sunridge Park, and Cavala Ranch are going to be some of those areas that were built in the 2000s. And then as you go, gosh, what is that? East on Douglas, you're going to start getting into the newer homes that are being built currently, homes that were built in the last 5 to 10 years. So homes here are typically larger homes. They're obviously newer homes and part of Mello-Roos. There's Mello-Roos definitely throughout here. So why it works, newer construction, good curb appeal, parks and amenities, many homes still under the 600,000 mark, especially resale or brand new homes. The schools are different here. So depending on which part of Rancho you get into, you're either going to be part of the Rancho Cordova Unified School District, or you're going to be part of the Elk Grove Unified School District. So Sunridge Middle School, Pleasant Grove High School, places like that, very well rated schools. So the trade-offs here also longer commute times to downtown. You end up having those Mello-Roos fees, which can significantly change payments. And then obviously making sure you're picking the right part that works for your family if you have kids. So if you want to be in the Elk Grove Unified School District or the Rancho. So really important to get the boundaries and know that the schools are part of that. So with that said, let's take a look at both Orangevale and Rancho really quickly. Definitely don't forget to download our informational guide. It's free 99. And it has a lot of information. Also, shoot me a call, 916-402-5786. Always free to chat, talk. I love talking about the area, so always here to help. So let's start in the Orangevale and Rancho Cordova area. So you can see right here on the map, you got Orangevale over here, which is going to be close to Black Miners Bar. It's going to be close to Folsom. Here's downtown Folsom right in here. So you got shopping and things very close. And if you come over here to Sunrise, all down this corridor, there's shoppings and things like that. So Orangevale, I mean, you've got properties. Here's one. Now, you're always going to trade off one thing for another. I usually look at price, condition, location. We can usually get you 2 of them. So if price is no option, you get the best house, best location. Now, if price is an option, you typically will give up one of the 2 on location and condition. And condition also includes square footage size. So something like this is about a 1,352 square foot home. It is a nice little house, right? Floor's done, kitchen, and kind of going into like what I was talking about, these houses usually have some pretty darn big backyards. So if you got a family, it's a good spot to run around in, things like that. You've got huge amount of backyard. Now, it's a 4 bedroom, so 4 bedroom with like 1,352 square feet might be a little tight. Come down here, you got a 3-2. Now this one was rehabbed. It's what we call a restoration or a flip. Nice little place, nice little house. It's probably got some good room. It's got a massive backyard. So close, it's over here. If you're looking on the map, you're right down the street from all these things. So cool little spot there. Here's another one, 4-2, 1,456. Now, even with 4-2s, and this is 550, so you can see there's some options closer to 550. I mean, you can keep going. And just because they say that, you know, the 575, 580, I mean, if they've been on the market for a while, could be that they are a bit on the higher side. So there's obviously options there. So you got some good options over here in the Orangevale area. Quite a few homes to look at. And with these homes, I mean, if a lot of times what I've always found is people who are very price sensitive or, you know, have to fit the budget, maybe it's something where they're actually, it's kind of a first home, could be they're just getting into a house and it's not their forever home. So there's a lot of options here. One of my favorites, so this is going to be your North Rancho. I absolutely love this area over here. This is called Sunridge. Tough to come by. Not a lot of homes come up over here. For instance, this is 539,000. It has got a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, about 1,830 square feet. Again, kind of condition. It's upgraded a little bit, not a ton, but it's got a good layout potentially. Obviously, haven't seen it. Needs some upgrading to current standards, if you would. But the good bones. You come back here over to the map. That's going to be Sunridge. I really like that area. And then also right here is going to be a home. This is about 480, 3-2. You can kind of see on a corner. I mean, the backyard's huge, nothing done to it, but it does have RV, you know, carpets, probably a little bit of updating, depends on what your style is, but a lot of the times these are going to be cosmetic. Okay, now you jump over here into this area, and this is going to be your North Rancho. So again, certain pockets, but I mean, this is a 4-2, 1,600 square feet. What they did is, you could see they converted the garage. So if you're a garage person, probably is not going to work for you, but there's some nice upgrades on it. That's where they got the extra square footage. If you don't care about the garage, there's things for everyone here, right? And then you come down here. This is kind of the Zinfandel area. So this is going to be close to Mather. Again, different pockets, different places, but there's some affordable homes here. And if you just kind of scroll down, you're in the 4s, you're in the 5s. A lot of options here. This guy right here, over here by the Mills Commercial. I typically like to be back in this area over here, over by Ambassador. This is where you cruise right into the bike trail and into the parking areas or the parks, things like that. This one's a cool little house, big corner lot. So a lot of options and a lot of different opportunities in as far as affordability goes. All right, so next stop is going to be Lincoln, Placer County. We're going to jump into Lincoln. They're actually part of the Western Placer Unified School District. Now, Lincoln is a lot of the newer developments, but if you get into that older Lincoln area, you can find some different homes, and there's a lot of different options. If you do go into the new development, there's deals to be had, if you would, with the new builders. One of the things that why it works is they have a pretty strong community feel out there, plenty of newer schools. So school districts based on niche.com, you are at about a 3.84. Trade-offs, the commute is longer. It's 45 plus minutes to central Sacramento. You hit that 65, which can be brutal sometimes. If you're trying to stay under that 550 mark in Lincoln, it means smaller or older homes or being even further out. So Then you have Old Roseville. It's actually where my sister lives. She is in that Old Roseville area, and different older parts of Roseville really work. So you're part of Roseville Joint Unified School District, which is rated per niche like a 4.12, or it's great schools. Median home price out citywide of Roseville is 640 to 660, but we're not looking at those. Old Roseville has some pockets that are lower, and then also south of 80 has some cool little spots in Roseville, which we'll look at in a little bit. So why it works: walkable, good schools, amenities, retail and dining. Trade-offs: it's a premium area, so budget homes are fewer. Expect smaller lots, older homes when it comes under that target. But we've been finding a lot of opportunities. In fact, one of my partners on the team, it's not Roseville, but it's in a great area in Rockland. He's got an offer out for himself on a home that's under $500,000. So there's some options here. Let's take a look at the map, and so you can kind of see what I am talking about. When it comes to that Roseville, Lincoln, I'm gonna go way far out here. So your Lincoln area is gonna be over here, right? And you can see this stretches, here's 80, and then you hit this 65, and these are all homes under 600,000. Now you hit that 65, and you're up in this Lincoln area, and the old Lincoln's actually pretty cool. I mean, there's some fixers out there. Obviously, this guy's probably gonna be a little bit of a fixer. You can find a older home, 425 for a 3.2, and this is gonna be in that older Lincoln area. There's a few out here. Oh, this is 590 on that, in that area. Probably a pretty well done. Needs some upgrading. Bigger lot, huge lot. You have homes like this, 585. So there's some finds to be had. These are gonna be a little bit newer over here. These are gonna be some new builds. So there's potential for new builds. Again, if you're in that new home area, you are gonna get hit with Mello-Roos, so be prepared for that. In addition, you are in the PG&E electrical, so you can plan for a higher rate on there. So this guy right here, this is on First Street, 550,000, 1,800 square feet, right? So definitely some places to be found. Good little areas. Here's like a new home, newer home. This is, 549,000 for a 3.3, 2,100 square feet. So there's definitely opportunity, especially in that new home space. And if we come back to the map, this is Lincoln, and you're still in that Placer area. You're still in some good little schools. And then you come over here, you can see all the homes in this area. So come down here, let's get out of that Lincoln and into Roseville. See all these new homes here. All right, so Roseville, depending on where you're looking, I actually like a lot of the south of Kirby area. I have a buddy who lives over here, helped him get a house in there. He loves that house. Now it's a smaller home, 3.2, 1,080 square feet. Here's another one, a little under 500. And again, you're gonna get lower prices, are gonna get you typically smaller homes. Look like this could be the same investor who bought a ton of these houses. 575. Now you can see right here, it's been on the market for about 66 days. So there could be some opportunity there. And then you also have over here, something like this, 1,472 square feet. Again, 191 days. And there's just some really cool pockets in some of these places. Huge lot, probably needs a little bit of work. Yeah, it needs to be upgraded, things like that. Could work for some, right? So you're gonna see here, 575. Here's kind of what I was talking about. This is over in Rockland, actually. They brought in some Rockland houses. Rockland, there's some opportunities over here in Rockland as well. So a lot of different opportunities you can see here, new homes. Again, you gotta be careful with that. Make sure that you can get an offset interest rate to offset some Mello-Roos. So there are opportunities in these areas. There's opportunities throughout. It's just really figuring out exactly what you're looking for, what area you want to be in, and do some of these houses work for you. So last one we got here is, let's move up to El Dorado County. One of my favorite places that I absolutely love. I know I said that about Roseville, Rockland. So one of the favorites is going to be Cameron Park. So Cameron Park up in El Dorado County, they end up in the El Dorado Union High School, which ranks a 3.9 out of 5. Median home price tends to be about 590 to 600. Why it works: you got more space, more rural, scenic surroundings. It's good for buyers seeking a quieter lifestyle with somewhat reasonable access to Sacramento. Trade-offs, it's more of a small town feel up there. So there's fewer big box amenities, tends to be longer drives, and that you start, depending on where you're at in Cameron Park, you start having higher insurance, fire costs. So I had 2 homes I sold in Cameron Park last month where one had fire insurance and the other didn't. So definitely you gotta make sure you're looking at that. So Cameron Park, really like it. It's a very cool community feel. And then the last one you're jumping up to, if you want to go higher up the hill, and it's still the same school district, is you jump into Placerville. Now, these median home prices are $528 to $555. You definitely are gonna have more than likely fire insurance up there. It's a good value for people looking to trade commute time for charm, history, and a smaller town feel. There's fewer modern amenities, less shopping. Definitely nightlife is not there. Drive time is to Sacramento is a lot longer. So let's jump into this area here. So here's some Cameron Park houses. This guy right here, like, cool little spot. I'll show you where it's at. Cute little place, about 1,358 square feet, right? It's 480. That's gonna be on the map here. And to kind of show you, first, let me show you where you're at here. So here's El Dorado Hills. So it goes Folsom, El Dorado Hills, Cameron Park. They have a really cool lake area. It's called Cameron Park Lake. They also have an airport, the Cameron Park Airport. And these houses are obviously, they're gonna be on the airport. They're gonna be much more expensive, but you have some options down here. $575 for about 1,600 square feet, $555 for 1,600 square feet. I mean, this is a super clean little house. Really like this house. Opens floor plan, done some upgrades on it. That's all virtually staged, by the way. There's your primary. And then the part about it that changes is you start getting up. All the trees, all the nature, all those things are incredible. So that's a cool little spot. Again, you're running into fire insurance. Here's another one, 1,800 square feet. Now, I've seen this one. This one, if I'm not mistaken, has some upgrades, but could use a little bit of work, but kind of gives you an idea of the houses up here that you can get in as far as affordability goes. And when I say affordability, I'm talking prices. Prices. Then you have more here, 1,900 square feet for 570, right? Huge backyards, more space, good school districts. So definitely an option there. And then let's get back to here. After Cameron Park, you're obviously up here. Now, Placerville is massive, so it expands all over the place. I mean, you go from something like this, where it's like a little cute little historic charm, right, to places that are more in the woods. I mean, it just really depends. Now, these places you're gonna get a lot of fire insurance, a lot of different things. So there you go. A couple other places. Depends on what you want as far as school districts, types of neighborhoods. You have Citrus Heights. We've helped people move there. Some other would be Antelope. Again, depending on the part of Antelope will determine how the neighborhoods are. So there you have it. Neighborhoods that can get you affordability as far as price goes, and quality depending on the home itself, and others that require compromise in terms of size or commute, but something off for everyone. It offers something solid: good schools, livability, value. Speaking of headed up the hill, go ahead and head over to the link below. Download our Greater Sacramento information guide. And if you want to shoot me a call, shoot me a text, 916-402-5786, or email me at jake@sacrealestatesearch.com. All my information is below. How to get a hold of me, send a pigeon, whatever works best for you. But make sure you reach out so we can help you determine where the space is or where the place that you need to be for your next move.